Hi, Joe Cerrone and
Al Rosen.
CAD 116. Today's video meeting. Today we're going to cover Module 2. And so every Thursday morning we're going to go on and talk about our assignments. They will be in the main splash page. And so here's the Module 2 assignments. 1, general design, is going to be to complete this number 1. And it's basically a exercise in coordinate input. And then exercise 2, you have your choice of either an architectural drawing or a mechanical drawing. You don't have to do both, but you're welcome to do both. We do have some students that will do both of them. And then here are the assignment sheets. And so if we click on Lab 1, and then I open it, here's our PDF of the floor plan. And there's always a little bit of technical things that we could do a little better with the orientation, but if you increase the zoom level, you'll be fine with it. And then if we go and we take a look at the mechanical assignment, and again, we have to blow it up a little bit. And these parts are set up, you know, for those of you mechanical people or that are in manufacturing, there's a lot of need for people with these skills. And so as far as this part goes, I have it set so that if people take these CAD courses, they can also learn how to produce these parts on manufacturing equipment like CNC machines, computer numerical control, or on 3D printers. And so the Skokie campus is very well set up for that. So that's the mechanical. You can either do the architectural or the mechanical, or you can do both. And then this one here is a bonus. And so we have these bonus or additional mechanical assignments. As well as this one. And if you're an architectural type student and you want some bonus assignments for that, we can certainly populate some of those too. And then the last link here is Al's content. And so we've been doing this for a really long time. And so what's nice about it is it kind of cuts to the chase in how to do these works, how to do these drawings. And so if you're somebody who can follow textbook directions, we'll give you a lot of that content. And if you're not, like myself, watch the videos because I'm more of a visual learner. And if I watch it, I can do it. But if I read it, I tend to miss some of the details. So module 2. And then Al, could you tell me what this is, the video lecture links here?
Okay, you got a video of one also on there. So if you go down, it shows a video of how to do that drawing. So if you click on it, please. Hopefully works. Knock on wood. There you go. That's your number 1. That's what Joe's going to talk about very shortly.
So let me make a couple of comments while it's on the screen, Al. Here it is, this table right here, absolute, relative, rectangular, and relative polar. And so what you'll do if you follow the video is just input these coordinates. And then every time you input a coordinate, they're in a row. This would be absolute. Absolute would be like an XY coordinate, 1, 1, like putting points on a graph. Whereas relative polar, and we really don't use this one in the middle because it's too computery. It's just people don't think mathematically that way. Relative polar is like using a tape measure. I want a line that's 10 feet long at a 30-degree angle, and that's how that works. And if you play the video, you'll see it'll be the at symbol, a length, and then a vector or an angle. Okay, Al. So the videos are working.
Yep, hopefully.
And then here's the architectural video. Now the architectural video, if it's the same one I was looking at last night, is architectural applications for module 2.
Right.
I'm going to mute it, but it's a few years old, but it's actually a very good video. And so rather than remake it, you may have to do a little bit of translating between 2016 AutoCAD and 2020 or 2021. Very typical. You can always type in the commands, but Al and I talked about, redoing the videos, and we thought it's not that off. It's still very workable. It's just the pictures of the icons change. So we'll talk about that as we go along, but this video is set up to show you how to do the architectural drawing. Okay. With that, we're going to continue with the agenda. I try to make these introductory recordings 15 minutes or less to that point. So module 2 starts today. General design assignment, mechanical assignment, architectural. Do this one and then choose one of each. Okay, next thing on my list here is to review a little bit of the D2L aspects of it. So most of that's already in video 1, but essentially we created this video. Video is working, okay, and so it looks like it's kind of putting them out of order, but you can scroll down, show all announcements.
There's when I come up like that all the time.
And then the video announcement from Thursday is in here. And I usually put the link so you'll see a picture like this. So it's a 34-minute video, and it tells you everything from the syllabus to the outline of topics. And if you click on it, it should work now.
Also, while that's running and getting ready to go, I know, and it does not affect you, but some other students, that if you cannot download Autodesk software because of the verification portion of it right now, please call Oakton Help Desk and tell them your problem, and they will get you into a VPN, and that drops you right into Oakton's server/classroom for the software so you can use it.
Yeah, put a posting in the splash page for that, Al. How to get help for CAD installations, because we always have people who need that.
Yep.
Okay, so that's the video from Thursday. And then if you don't see it on the main splash page, you probably need to click on the link at the bottom that says show all announcements. And we do have quite a few of them in there, but that's everything that we want people to follow. And so we put it in the main splash page. Module 2 is located under content. And then module 1 right here, and then module 2. As you can see, the drawing is here. And again, we do a general design, mechanical, and architectural. Here's the link to the Oakton CAD website. This is secondary information. This is stuff that Al and I put together that we really like. And so there's some really great YouTube videos. And so if I want to know what absolute coordinates are, I can watch this 5-minute video. And then I go, oh yeah, okay, now I get it. X, Y coordinates. I don't know why these home
You have to skip it.
Yeah. I think the more annoying the commercials, I don't know, I won't comment. But anyway, here's a 1.5-minute video on absolute coordinates. You know, and cuts to the chase. It shows you what we're talking about. And then if we
And if
take a
you
look at,
if you want closed captions, just click on CC at the bottom of it, and you will have closed caption also.
yeah, it always spells my name wrong or something, but actually it's quite good. All right, so I'm going to close that. And then getting back to module 2. So again, if you click on that fundamentals link, this is Al and I, you know, we just decided before the D2L content came out, we just made our own. And so created our own website, server, etc. Relative polar is the other one that we use a lot. And really what it comes down to is when you have to draw a line at a specific length and at a specific angle. So these are really great 5-minute, 4-minute videos. And then this is our resources for you. It's a great way to just sit on your iPad. Direct distance is also very good. Direct distance is like the easiest, newest stuff. And so we put the older content, the hard way to do it, and then we show the easier way to do it. Because if we show you the easy way right off the bat, you can't quite do everything with it. And so we just want to give everybody the resources for that. And so with direct distance, it's great. You turn on this polar button and it gives you these tracking lines. And we'll talk about those in the videos. Okay, and then if we continue to look at module 2 from top to bottom, here's our assignment for the architectural applications, and it's redundant. It's the same things that are on the splash page. And so we will try to be a little careful not to have too much information out there, but this is almost like your virtual book where you just go into the D2L content, and like we said in the first video, D2L is kind of the king. We just want to follow that information, and then OpenCAD is secondary. Those are just great resources for you.
And also, Joe, if you go back for architectural, please, you will see a right there, stop right there. You'll see B/size ARC title block. That's the one you need, not the title block, not everything else, but that title block itself. When you open it, it opens to what you see on the screen. If you click on it one time, please, Joe, and activate it, download it. There you go. Your AutoCAD's open, correct? Yep. And what happens is a blank screen comes up, paper. Like you would take paper out of a drawer, like the old style, take it out of a drawer, tape it on a drawing board, here it is. So instead of drawing board, instead of drawers, all we have to do is hit click on this, and our paper comes up, ready to go.
And again, just the mousing techniques. If you turn the wheel on the mouse and push the wheel, you need to have a scroll wheel mouse. I've seen people running it off their laptop and the pad. It's just a lot more work. And so
Also,
I buy these USB mouses. I buy the mini ones, and I just have those. I carry it with me.
yeah. Also, you want to do all your drawings in model space, not layout or paper space.
Right, because what happens is when you start a line here in paper space is just what it says. It's the space to work on in paper. And so this piece of paper is 11 inches by 17 inches. And so it's like 17 inches wide. So it's showing me 1 foot 11. So it's going to be, looks like it's a little wider, but it should be 17. You can measure them with these quick measurements or with distance measurements, where I can come in here and I can say, okay, what's the distance from here to here? And so 17 feet. And then we draw the objects in model space. And so when we start the drawing, we're on the wall layer. We click on, usually I like to tell people use the grid and snap. And so what I tell people is go to show the menu bar. My menu bar is on. So you go to this little arrow here. and then you go to Tools, Drafting Settings, or you just type in Grid and Snap. Snap and Grid is on, and this needs to be 6 inches, Al. We need to update this because 1/2 an inch is way too small. And then if you do want the grid, I typically set up the grid for 12 inches or a foot, so I'll have 2 snaps to every grid. Polar tracking is on. Object snapping, you can leave this on. And then when we do the work for it, you can see I now have a grid. I can go with the line command and I can go through and I can track it out this way. I don't remember the exact size of the room, so I guess I'll have to go and look at it.
I believe it's like 20 feet. By the way,
20 apostrophe feet. And then if we go up this way,
it is 19 feet.
Now, if you just say 19 like that, it's not going to work right. You have to go 19 apostrophe. If you go 19 like this, you'll get this 19-inch line. And a lot of people will do that. Undo. And then you go, notice how I have that green line and it tracks north? 19 feet. And this is all in the video. And so as we do these orientation meeting videos, we're not going to go through all of it. We're just going to show you the basics. And so turn the line weights on. There we go. And so I don't really like the glyphs, but they keep us in business because nobody knows what they mean, right, Al?
Right. Now, also at the same time, Joe, go back to Paperspace and you will see these 2 lines appear in the paper itself.
And I'll do that in 1 second.
Right.
This little thing right here in the corner controls the settings for the icons down here in the bottom. And so the grid icon is on. If I turn it off, it disappears down here. I turn it on. And so we recommend using the coordinates on the absolute #1 drawing. And so you may want to enable that if it's not. And then like Al was saying, if I go and I click on these tabs, I get into Paperspace. And the actual command is called tile mode, T-I-L-E-M-O-D-E. So tile mode, and AutoCAD works in binary. Tile mode 1 on goes to model space. Tile mode 0 goes to Paperspace. Paperspace, like Al was saying, is used to print it out on the paper. And this, if I double click in this square, is what's known as a viewport. So you can see this is the drawing that we made. And so as we start to do the work in model space, so if I say tile mode 1, it'll switch over. Now you go, well, that's old-fashioned typing. Yep, you can always just click on this button here, model space, Paperspace. And read this little stuff down here, okay? It tells you the command. So it says, oh, tile mode 1, it set it to this. And then when I click it here, it reflects back and tells me tile mode 0. Okay, so module 2, back to top to bottom. There is some content for this that you'll need. You'll need this chair. And so when we do the desk, if you download this and open it, oh, it's a 3D chair, huh, Al?
That's one of my chairs, yes.
So you can take this and you can copy and paste it into the other drawing. I believe if I say edit, copy with base point, and I change the view, let's just, I'm gonna hit escape here.
Another one's views.
To a top view, and then I say edit, copy with base point. I can say the base point is gonna be right here, and you'll see I'm getting an O snap because my O snap will find the midpoint, and it's just more precise. And so when we work with O snaps, what we're doing is setting the automatic snap markers. It's like gravity or like a magnet. When the cursor is near an endpoint, you'll get a little square like this. When it's near a midpoint, you'll get a triangle. And so when I say edit, copy with base point, so I'll give it a base point here, and then I'll copy it. I'll select what I want to copy and I'll hit enter, and then I'll switch to the other drawing. And so I can hover and I can then switch over to my architectural drawing. I can go, now here's what happens. If you go to Paperspace and you paste it, it's going to be huge. That's my chair. Because it's a big chair and the paper is only 11 by 17. So I'm going to click on it and delete it. You have to put them in model space. And we'll talk about scaling as we get more into the course. But here it's going to fit just fine. And so I can put Al's chair in here. Bing. I can draw a table. The table, it tells you how to draw it, but it's a 72-inch diameter, I believe. And so if I say D for diameter, again, down here at the bottom are your options. So I can either click on it, diameter, type 72, enter. And these are in the video. So you need to go into the video and then we can set these up. Sometimes the snap and the grid work against you, and so I will turn them off. So if I say snap, like when I'm putting in the chair, down arrow, off. Now I can move the chair kind of fluidly. Ortho's on, that's why. And that's typical. I've been doing this for a while, as Al has. Okay, so the instructions are there, and then you'll notice that when I change the tile mode into Paperspace, you can see that my room is starting to come along with the chair. Okay, we're about 20 minutes into this video, so we're going to start to wrap it up.
Joe, you want to do one thing?
Go ahead, Al.
Okay, if you go back to AutoCAD real quick in the room there, please. Conference room. And if you go to model, please. There we go. And if you go up on the top left-hand corner, you will see visual styles. No, inside of drawing, please, itself. You want to get correct. And you want to go to contents to where it is right there. And now you want to go to 3D views, please, where your views are. Next to it, and give me a southeast, southwest one, doesn't make a difference. And you can see now it is now shaded in. And if you had different colors or color match for a cushion or wood color for arms or legs or whatever else, that would automatically show up with you at that time. Now, there is more, as Joe is doing, it is now changed colors. So if you want a color match what it is, or you might have something that you have like 6 chairs, and each chair has to have a different color to it, because that's what the client wants. You can do so. Later on, if you want some more things for architectural, let Joe and myself know. And we have some few, you might say, maybe 300 or 400 different things that we download for you and you can use if you want to do one of the drawings.
Thanks, Al. Definitely. And that's where you start to get into the style elements. You know, first you have to learn how to drive. And so this is just driver's ed to start off with. How to put the key in the car, step on the gas, learn how to use the brakes. And then as you're able to be proficient, you can find the commands and stuff. So what Al's talking about is visual styles, 2D wireframe, and then viewing top. And there's a lot of redundancy on this. You can also use the view cube. Okay, getting back to today's video. So here's the mechanical applications. Again, you know, you'll download the title block. And so I can download the mechanical title block and I can open it. It does give you that warning. I went through it a little quickly, but basically if you're taking drawings home from work and using a student version to draw on them, it marks them, it tattoos them. So you want to be careful about bringing work home and using a student version of AutoCAD, because if you bring it back to work, it's going to say student version. So that's what that message is when we bring in the student versions. AutoCAD is free for students, but if you work, then they're going to want you to pay for the software. And it used to be about $3,500 they would sell it to you. You can find them on eBay. Now they're going to a lease format. Okay, so this is the mechanical drawing, and then the mechanical drawing will look like this. There's a video for that as well, you know, how to create this part. And then we do a lot of work with, prototyping and 3D printing. We could have this part on my desk in about an hour and a half if we wanted to use a 3D printer. A lot less time if we use a CNC machine, provided that we have the program and the materials. All right, so mechanical, there's a YouTube video for that as well. You can just click on the YouTube. And then there's Joe's PowerPoint. And I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna make these 10 to 15-minute videos of the chapters. I'll do one over the weekend for, basic chapter 2 stuff. And we were doing these as PowerPoints, but what we've decided to do is to just go right to the content in the textbook. And so if I look at the content for the textbook for chapter 2, we will go through basics, how to start a new drawing, saving files, opening and closing. And so we'll give you our 15-minute quick cliff notes on the chapter, because they do have a lot of stuff in here which is just nice to know, nice to have, but we'll cut to the chase on things. Okay, so that's the textbook. That's the plan. As we look at kind of wrapping up and I look at my notes, we were talking about help desk, Al. We wanted to give them a resource for that if they're having any difficulties.
And we'll have that up and running hopefully before tomorrow. Also, if you don't mind, ladies and gentlemen, is look at your grades once you turn in an assignment. We try grading them as quick as we can. Also, once you take the quizzes, they automatically, once they say, okay, we'll pick out one of those, it automatically picks the best one, and then the grade is automatically transferred into the grading system.
Right, so it's linked, and so I'm trying to pull that up here, but as far as the grades go, everything looks great. Yep, and so we can see people are doing their work. We've got some module 1s. And then if we look at the assignments, this is where you're going to turn them in. And so we've extended the date. I thought we did, I guess, yeah, 23rd. And these are just when you should have it, okay? And so as we look at the due dates, you can still turn them in late if you have something else that comes on, but we want to get people used to that format. All right, so in conclusion, wrapping things up, Al and I will post in the announcements what we're working on. I'm going through and doing these chapter videos, and so when you see these chapter 1 videos, this basically goes right to the textbook, and I explain what's important in there. Here's our module 2, general design assignment, mechanical or architectural, place them in the Dropbox, and then here's the links. And then here's the video lectures. A lot of this is redundant from what's in chapter 2, but Al likes to put all the announcements in there. And then if you don't see an announcement, make sure you hit the show announcements, and then you'll see the announcements from previous video meetings. And so
this one holds so many pages in the main assignment page, and that has to be dropped down. So that's why we show you on the bottom. Click on it.
Right. Okay, with that, I'm going to stop the recording and I will post this, and I'll continue to leave the meeting open for questions and answers.
Open up Dan's microphone, please.